In Buddhism, negative energy is often understood as a manifestation of unwholesome mental states such as anger, jealousy, and hatred. These states are considered to be rooted in ignorance and delusion, which cloud our perception of reality and lead to suffering. Negative energy can arise from within ourselves or be encountered in others, and it has the potential to disrupt our inner peace and well-being. The Buddha taught that all beings possess the seeds of both positive and negative qualities, and it is through our thoughts, actions, and intentions that we nurture one over the other. Negative energy is not an inherent quality of any person, but rather a temporary state that can be transformed. In Buddhism, this transformation begins with understanding the nature of suffering and its causes. The concept of dependent origination explains that all phenomena arise due to specific conditions. Thus, negative energy is not a fixed trait, but a result of certain conditions coming together. By recognizing this, we can approach negative energy with a sense of curiosity and compassion, rather than aversion or judgment. Furthermore, Buddhism teaches that our reactions to negative energy are within our control. While we may not be able to avoid encountering negativity, we can choose how we respond to it. This perspective empowers us to take responsibility for our own mental states and encourages us to cultivate positive qualities such as patience, kindness, and wisdom. By doing so, we can mitigate the impact of negative energy on our lives and create a more harmonious environment for ourselves and others. Understanding negative energy in Buddhism also involves acknowledging the interconnectedness of all beings. When we encounter negativity in others, it is often a reflection of their own suffering and struggles. This awareness can help us develop empathy and compassion rather than reacting with hostility or defensiveness. By seeing the underlying causes of negative behavior, we can respond in ways that promote healing and understanding rather than perpetuating conflict. In summary, negative energy in Buddhism is seen as a temporary state arising from unwholesome mental conditions. Through understanding its nature and causes, we can transform our reactions to it and cultivate a more compassionate and peaceful approach to dealing with negativity in ourselves and others. This understanding lays the foundation for further practices that help us navigate challenging interactions with grace and wisdom. In Buddhism, compassion is a fundamental principle that guides interactions with others, including those who emit negative energy. Compassion, or karuna in Pali, is the deep empathy and desire to alleviate the suffering of others. It is not merely a feeling, but an active commitment to understanding and addressing the pain and difficulties that others experience. This concept is deeply intertwined with the Buddhist understanding of interconnectedness. Recognizing that all beings are interconnected leads to a natural inclination to care for one another. When dealing with negative people, compassion allows us to see beyond their outward behavior and recognize the underlying suffering that may be causing their negativity. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, a compassionate approach encourages us to respond with kindness and patience. This does not mean condoning harmful behavior, but rather addressing it with a mindset aimed at healing rather than punishment. Compassion in Buddhism also involves self-compassion. It is essential to maintain a balance between caring for others and caring for oneself. When faced with negativity, it is crucial to protect one's own mental and emotional well-being while extending compassion to others. This balance helps prevent burnout and ensures that one's capacity for compassion remains sustainable. The practice of compassion can be cultivated through various Buddhist practices, such as meditation, mindfulness, and ethical living. Loving kindness meditation, metabhavana, is particularly effective in developing compassion. By systematically extending feelings of love and kindness towards oneself, loved ones, neutral individuals, difficult people, and eventually all beings, one can gradually expand their capacity for compassion. In essence, the concept of compassion in Buddhism provides a powerful tool for dealing with negative people. It transforms interactions from potential conflicts into opportunities for understanding and healing. By embracing compassion, we not only help alleviate the suffering of others, but also cultivate inner peace and resilience within ourselves. Practicing mindfulness is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice and serves as a powerful tool for staying grounded when dealing with negative people. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment, observing your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations without judgment. This practice allows you to create a mental space between yourself and the negativity you encounter, enabling you to respond rather than react impulsively. When faced with negative individuals, mindfulness helps you maintain your inner equilibrium. By focusing on your breath or engaging in a brief body scan, you can anchor yourself in the present moment. This simple act of grounding can prevent you from getting swept away by the emotional turbulence that negative interactions often bring. It allows you to observe the situation with clarity and detachment, reducing the likelihood of becoming entangled in the other person's negativity. Moreover, mindfulness encourages self-awareness, which is crucial when navigating challenging social dynamics. By regularly practicing mindfulness meditation, you become more attuned to your own emotional triggers and habitual responses. This heightened awareness enables you to recognize when you're being affected by someone else's negativity and take proactive steps to manage your reactions. For instance, if you notice feelings of anger or frustration arising during an interaction, mindfulness allows you to acknowledge these emotions without letting them dictate your behavior. In addition to fostering self-awareness, mindfulness cultivates empathy and compassion. When you are fully present with another person, even if they are negative, you can better understand their suffering and the root causes of their behavior. This compassionate perspective can transform your approach to dealing with them, shifting from one of resistance or resentment to one of understanding and patience. Incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine doesn't require extensive time commitments. Simple practices such as mindful breathing, mindful walking, or even mindful listening can be integrated into everyday activities. These practices help reinforce your ability to stay grounded and centered, regardless of external circumstances. Ultimately, practicing mindfulness equips you with the resilience needed to navigate interactions with negative people gracefully. It empowers you to maintain your inner peace and stability, ensuring that you are not unduly influenced by external negativity. Through consistent mindfulness practice, you develop a strong foundation that supports not only your well-being, but also fosters more harmonious relationships with those around you. In Buddhism, setting boundaries with compassion is a practice that balances self-care with empathy for others. It involves recognizing that while we aim to cultivate loving kindness and understanding, we also need to protect our own mental and emotional well-being. This balance is crucial because it allows us to maintain our inner peace while interacting with negative people whom we cannot avoid. Setting boundaries begins with self-awareness. By practicing mindfulness, we become attuned to our own needs and limits. This awareness helps us identify when interactions with negative individuals start to affect our mental state adversely. Once we recognize these moments, we can take steps to establish healthy boundaries. These boundaries are not about shutting people out, but about creating a space where respectful and constructive interactions can occur. Compassionate boundary setting involves clear and kind communication. When expressing our needs, it is essential to do so with a tone of respect and understanding. For instance, if someone's negativity is overwhelming, we might say, "I understand you are going through a tough time, but I need to take a break from this conversation for my own well-being." This approach acknowledges the other person's feelings while also asserting our own needs. Moreover, it is important to remember that setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness, but one of self-preservation. In Buddhism, taking care of oneself is seen as a prerequisite for being able to help others effectively. If we allow ourselves to be drained by negative energy constantly, we will have little left to offer in terms of support or compassion. Another aspect of compassionate boundary setting is consistency. Once boundaries are established, it is crucial to uphold them consistently. This consistency helps others understand and respect our limits over time. It also reinforces our commitment to maintaining our well-being, which in turn enables us to engage more positively with others. In summary, setting boundaries with compassion in Buddhism involves a mindful awareness of our own needs, clear and respectful communication and consistent enforcement of those boundaries. By doing so, we create an environment where both our well-being and the well-being of others can be nurtured. This practice not only protects us from the detrimental effects of negative energy, but also allows us to interact with others from a place of genuine compassion and strength. Loving kindness, or meditation, is a fundamental practice in Buddhism that plays a crucial role in dealing with negative people when avoidance is not an option. Meditation involves cultivating an attitude of unconditional love and kindness towards oneself and others, including those who may be sources of negativity. The practice begins with focusing on oneself, generating feelings of goodwill and compassion. This self-directed kindness forms the foundation for extending these feelings outward to others. As you progress in meditation, you gradually include others in your circle of compassion, starting with loved ones and friends, then neutral individuals, and finally those with whom you have difficulties. By consciously directing positive thoughts and intentions towards these individuals, you can transform your emotional responses to their negativity. Instead of reacting with frustration or anger, you develop a sense of empathy and understanding for their suffering. The transformative power of meditation lies in its ability to shift your perspective. When you view negative people through the lens of loving kindness, you recognize that their behavior often stems from their own pain and struggles. This realization fosters a compassionate response rather than a defensive one. Over time, consistent practice of meditation can lead to profound changes in how you interact with challenging individuals, reducing your emotional reactivity and promoting a more harmonious environment. Moreover, meditation helps to create a mental buffer against negativity. By regularly nurturing positive emotions within yourself, you build resilience against external negative influences. This inner strength allows you to maintain your peace and equanimity even in the face of difficult interactions. In essence, meditation equips you with the emotional tools needed to navigate relationships with negative people while preserving your own well-being. Incorporating meditation into your daily routine can be a powerful strategy for dealing with negativity in a compassionate and constructive manner. It not only benefits your own mental and emotional health, but also has the potential to positively influence those around you by fostering an atmosphere of kindness and understanding. In Buddhism, developing patience and tolerance is considered a vital practice for dealing with negative people, especially when avoidance is not an option. Patience, or kshanti in Sanskrit, is one of the 6 paramitas, perfections, that Buddhists strive to cultivate. It involves enduring difficulties and hardships without becoming agitated or upset. Tolerance, closely related to patience, is the ability to accept and coexist with differing views and behaviors without harboring resentment. The teachings of the Buddha emphasize that patience is not merely passive endurance, but an active state of mind that requires conscious effort. When faced with negativity, it is essential to recognize that everyone has their own struggles and sources of suffering. By understanding that negative behavior often stems from a place of pain or ignorance, we can begin to cultivate compassion rather than react with anger or frustration. One practical way to develop patience is through mindfulness meditation. By regularly practicing mindfulness, we train our minds to observe our thoughts and emotions without immediately reacting to them. This practice helps us create a mental space between stimulus and response, allowing us to choose a more measured and compassionate reaction. When confronted with negativity, instead of reacting impulsively, we can take a moment to breathe deeply, acknowledge our feelings, and respond with calmness. Another important aspect of developing patience is recognizing the impermanent nature of all things, including emotions and situations. In Buddhism, the concept of impermanence, anicca, teaches us that everything is in a constant state of flux. Negative interactions are temporary and will eventually pass. By keeping this perspective in mind, we can reduce the intensity of our emotional reactions and maintain a sense of equanimity. Additionally, practicing loving kindness, meditation, can help us foster a sense of goodwill towards others, even those who are difficult to deal with. By regularly sending thoughts of love and kindness to ourselves and others, we gradually soften our hearts and increase our capacity for patience and tolerance. It is also helpful to remind ourselves that developing patience is a gradual process that requires consistent effort. We may not always succeed in maintaining our composure, but each attempt strengthens our ability to do so in the future. By viewing each challenging interaction as an opportunity to practice patience, we transform potentially negative experiences into valuable lessons on our spiritual path. In summary, developing patience and tolerance involves understanding the roots of negative behavior, practicing mindfulness and loving-kindness meditation, recognizing the impermanence of all things, and consistently applying these principles in our daily lives. Through these practices, we can cultivate a more compassionate and resilient mindset that allows us to navigate difficult interactions with grace and equanimity. In Buddhism, transforming negative energy through positive actions is a profound practice that can significantly alter one's experience and interactions with others. Negative energy, often manifested as anger, resentment, or frustration, can be overwhelming and detrimental to both the individual experiencing it and those around them. However, by consciously choosing to respond with positive actions, one can shift the dynamic and create a more harmonious environment. One of the fundamental ways to transform negative energy is through the practice of generosity, or dana. Generosity is not limited to material gifts, but includes offering time, attention, and kindness. When faced with negativity, responding with an act of kindness can diffuse tension and foster a sense of goodwill. This could be as simple as offering a listening ear to someone who is upset or performing a small act of service without expecting anything in return. Such actions not only help to alleviate the immediate negativity, but also build a foundation of positive karma that benefits both the giver and the receiver. Another powerful method is through the practice of right speech, one of the elements of the Noble Eightfold Path. Right speech involves speaking truthfully, kindly, and constructively. When confronted with negative comments or criticism, responding with calm and measured words can prevent escalation and promote understanding. It requires mindfulness and self-control to avoid reacting impulsively and instead choose words that heal rather than harm. By practicing right speech, one can transform potentially harmful interactions into opportunities for growth and connection. Engaging in acts of compassion is also essential in transforming negative energy. Compassion involves recognizing the suffering of others and taking steps to alleviate it. When dealing with negative people, it is helpful to remember that their negativity often stems from their own pain or dissatisfaction. By approaching them with empathy rather than judgment, one can create a space for healing. This might involve offering support or simply being present without trying to change or fix them. Compassionate actions can break the cycle of negativity and replace it with mutual respect and understanding. Additionally, practicing gratitude can shift one's perspective from focusing on negativity to appreciating the positive aspects of life. Gratitude helps to cultivate a mindset that recognizes and values the good in every situation. When feeling overwhelmed by negative energy, taking a moment to reflect on things one is grateful for can provide balance and clarity. This practice not only uplifts one's own spirit, but also radiates positivity outwardly, influencing those around them. Lastly, engaging in regular meditation practices such as loving kindness, metta meditation, can help transform negative energy into positive vibrations. Metta meditation involves generating feelings of love and kindness towards oneself and others, including those who may be difficult or negative. By consistently practicing metta meditation, one develops an inner reservoir of compassion and goodwill that naturally extends to all interactions. In conclusion, transforming negative energy through positive actions is a dynamic process that requires mindfulness, compassion, and intentionality. By practicing generosity, right speech, compassion, gratitude, and loving-kindness meditation, one can effectively counteract negativity and foster a more peaceful and harmonious environment for themselves and others. In Buddhism, non-attachment is a fundamental principle that plays a crucial role in dealing with negative people when you can't avoid them. Non-attachment does not mean indifference or lack of care. Rather, It signifies a balanced state of mind where one does not cling to or become overly affected by external circumstances, including the behavior of others. This concept is deeply rooted in the understanding that all phenomena are transient and ever-changing. By practicing non-attachment, you can maintain your inner peace and emotional stability even in the presence of negativity. When you encounter negative people, their actions and words can easily trigger emotional responses such as anger, frustration, or sadness. However, by cultivating non-attachment, you learn to observe these emotions without becoming entangled in them. This detachment allows you to respond to negativity with equanimity and compassion, rather than reacting impulsively. It creates a mental space where you can choose your actions wisely, aligning them with your values and principles, rather than being driven by reactive emotions. Non-attachment also involves recognizing that the negativity exhibited by others often stems from their own suffering and delusions. By understanding this, you can develop empathy and compassion for them without taking their behavior personally. This perspective helps you to see beyond the immediate negativity and acknowledge the underlying causes of their actions. It enables you to maintain a sense of calm and composure, reducing the likelihood of being drawn into conflict or emotional turmoil. Furthermore, non-attachment encourages you to let go of unrealistic expectations about how others should behave. Accepting people as they are, with all their flaws and imperfections, allows you to navigate interactions with greater ease and less disappointment. This acceptance does not mean condoning harmful behavior, but rather acknowledging the reality of the situation without resistance. It empowers you to focus on what you can control, your own thoughts, emotions, and actions, while releasing the need to control or change others. Incorporating non-attachment into your daily life requires consistent practice and mindfulness. Meditation practices such as Vipassana or insight meditation can help you develop this quality by training your mind to observe thoughts and emotions without attachment. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to remain centered and balanced amidst external challenges. Ultimately, non-attachment is a powerful tool for maintaining inner peace and resilience in the face of negativity. It allows you to engage with others from a place of compassion and wisdom, rather than reactivity and defensiveness. By embracing non-attachment, you create a harmonious inner environment that supports your well-being and fosters positive interactions with those around you. In Buddhism, the sangha, or community of practitioners, plays a crucial role in one's spiritual journey. When dealing with negative people whom you cannot avoid, seeking support from the sangha can be immensely beneficial. The sangha provides a safe and nurturing environment where individuals can share their experiences, seek advice, and receive emotional and spiritual support. Engaging with the sangha allows you to draw on the collective wisdom and compassion of fellow practitioners who may have faced similar challenges. The sangha serves as a mirror, reflecting back your own strengths and weaknesses, helping you to see situations more clearly. This communal support can help you maintain your practice and stay grounded when confronted with negativity. By participating in group meditations, discussions, and retreats, you can cultivate a sense of belonging and interconnectedness that counteracts feelings of isolation or frustration caused by negative interactions. Moreover, the sangha encourages the practice of right speech and right action, two elements of the Noble Eightfold Path. This means that within this community, there is an emphasis on communicating mindfully and acting with integrity. Learning from others who embody these principles can inspire you to handle difficult people with greater patience and compassion. Additionally, the sangha often includes experienced teachers or monks who can offer personalized guidance. These mentors can provide practical strategies for dealing with negativity based on Buddhist teachings. They can help you develop skills such as mindfulness, loving kindness, metta, and equanimity, which are essential for maintaining inner peace in challenging situations. In essence, the sangha acts as a supportive network that reinforces your commitment to Buddhist practices. It reminds you that you are not alone in your struggles and that there is strength in community. By leaning on the sangha for support, you can better navigate interactions with negative people while staying true to your spiritual path. In Buddhism, the concept of impermanence, or anicca, is a fundamental teaching that applies to all aspects of existence, including our emotions. Reflecting on the impermanence of emotions can be a powerful tool when dealing with negative people whom you cannot avoid. Emotions, whether positive or negative, are transient by nature. They arise, persist for a while, and eventually fade away. By understanding this, we can develop a more balanced perspective towards our emotional experiences. When confronted with negativity from others, it is easy to become overwhelmed by our immediate emotional reactions, such as anger, frustration, or sadness. However, by reminding ourselves that these emotions are not permanent fixtures, but fleeting states of mind, we can prevent them from taking root and causing prolonged suffering. This awareness allows us to observe our emotions without becoming entangled in them. We can acknowledge their presence and let them pass naturally, rather than reacting impulsively or holding on to them. Moreover, reflecting on the impermanence of emotions helps us cultivate a sense of detachment from the negativity projected by others. We begin to see that the negative behavior of others is also subject to change and is often a reflection of their own transient emotional states, rather than a fixed aspect of their character. This understanding fosters compassion and patience, enabling us to respond with greater equanimity. In practical terms, when faced with negativity, take a moment to breathe deeply and remind yourself that this emotional turbulence is temporary. Visualize your emotions as clouds passing through the sky of your mind, constantly changing and never permanent. This mental exercise can help you maintain inner calm and prevent the escalation of negative interactions. By integrating the reflection on impermanence into our daily lives, we not only manage our own emotional responses more effectively, but also create a more harmonious environment for ourselves and those around us. This practice aligns with the broader Buddhist path of reducing suffering and cultivating inner peace through wisdom and mindfulness. The Four Noble Truths form the foundation of Buddhist teachings and offer profound insights into dealing with life's challenges, including interactions with negative people. The first noble truth acknowledges the existence of suffering, dukkha, in life. Recognizing that difficult interactions are a part of this universal suffering can help us approach them with a sense of acceptance, rather than resistance. This understanding allows us to see that negative people are also experiencing their own forms of suffering, which may manifest as negativity or hostility. The second noble truth identifies the cause of suffering as attachment and desire. In the context of dealing with negative individuals, this can be interpreted as our attachment to how we believe others should behave or our desire for harmonious interactions. By recognizing these attachments, we can begin to let go of unrealistic expectations and accept people as they are, reducing our own suffering in the process. The third noble truth offers hope by stating that the cessation of suffering is possible. This cessation comes from letting go of attachments and desires. When we release our need for others to change or behave in a certain way, we free ourselves from the emotional turmoil that often accompanies negative interactions. This doesn't mean we condone harmful behavior, but rather that we choose not to let it disturb our inner peace. The fourth noble truth outlines the path to the cessation of suffering through the Eightfold Path. Applying aspects of the Eightfold Path, such as right speech and right effort, can guide us in our daily interactions. Right speech encourages us to communicate with kindness and honesty, avoiding harmful or divisive language. Right effort involves cultivating positive states of mind and letting go of negative ones, which can help us maintain a balanced perspective even when faced with negativity. By integrating the Four Noble Truths into our daily interactions, we can approach negative people with greater understanding and compassion. This practice not only helps us manage our own emotional responses, but also creates an opportunity for more meaningful and less contentious relationships. Through mindful application of these truths, we transform potentially harmful encounters into opportunities for personal growth and deeper connection with others. The Eightfold Path is a fundamental teaching in Buddhism that provides a practical guide for ethical and mental development, with the goal of freeing individuals from suffering and leading them towards enlightenment. When dealing with negative people, the principles of the Eightfold Path can be invaluable in maintaining personal conduct and ensuring that one's actions are aligned with Buddhist teachings. Right understanding, the first aspect of the Eightfold Path, involves seeing things as they truly are and understanding the nature of suffering. Recognizing that negative behavior often stems from ignorance or personal suffering can foster empathy rather than resentment. This understanding helps in not taking negative actions personally and seeing them as manifestations of deeper issues. Right intention emphasizes the importance of having pure and positive motivations. When interacting with negative individuals, it is crucial to maintain intentions rooted in kindness, compassion, and non-harm. This mindset helps in responding to negativity without perpetuating it, thereby breaking the cycle of negative interactions. Right speech encourages speaking truthfully, kindly, and constructively. In the face of negativity, practicing right speech means avoiding harsh words, gossip, or deceit. Instead, one should strive to communicate in ways that promote understanding and peace. This can help de-escalate potentially volatile situations and foster a more positive environment. Right action involves behaving ethically and avoiding actions that cause harm. When dealing with negative people, this principle guides one to act with integrity and compassion, refraining from retaliatory or harmful behaviors. By consistently choosing actions that reflect one's values, it becomes easier to maintain inner peace and avoid being dragged into negativity. Right livelihood advises engaging in work that does not cause harm to others. While this may seem less directly related to personal interactions, it underscores the importance of living in a way that aligns with one's ethical beliefs. Ensuring that one's livelihood supports rather than undermines these principles can provide a stable foundation for dealing with negativity in all areas of life. Right effort involves cultivating positive states of mind while preventing and overcoming negative ones. This requires vigilance and dedication to maintaining a positive outlook even when faced with negativity. By consistently applying effort to nurture qualities like patience, kindness, and resilience, one can better withstand the impact of negative interactions. Right mindfulness is about being fully present and aware in each moment. Practicing mindfulness allows one to observe their own reactions to negativity without becoming overwhelmed by them. This awareness creates space for thoughtful responses rather than impulsive reactions, helping to maintain composure and clarity. Right concentration involves developing deep focus and mental discipline through practices like meditation. Strengthening concentration can enhance one's ability to remain calm and centered amidst negativity. Regular meditation practice can build inner strength and resilience, making it easier to handle challenging interactions with grace. By integrating these aspects of the Eightfold Path into daily life, one can navigate interactions with negative people more effectively. These principles offer a framework for maintaining ethical conduct, fostering compassion, and cultivating inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Through diligent practice, it becomes possible to transform challenging encounters into opportunities for personal growth and spiritual development. In Buddhism, equanimity is a state of mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in difficult situations. Practicing equanimity involves maintaining a balanced mind regardless of external circumstances, which is particularly valuable when dealing with negative people whom you cannot avoid. This practice is rooted in the understanding that all experiences, whether pleasant or unpleasant, are transient and subject to change. To cultivate equanimity, it is essential to develop a deep awareness of your own emotional responses. Mindfulness meditation can be a powerful tool in this regard. By observing your thoughts and feelings without attachment or aversion, you can begin to see them as passing phenomena rather than fixed realities. This perspective allows you to respond to negativity with greater clarity and less reactivity. Another key aspect of equanimity is recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings. Understanding that everyone has their own struggles and suffering can foster a sense of empathy and reduce personal offense taken from negative behavior. This does not mean condoning harmful actions, but rather seeing them through a lens of compassion and wisdom. Equanimity also involves letting go of the need to control others or the situation. Accepting that you cannot change another person's behavior but can only manage your own reactions is liberating. This acceptance helps in maintaining inner peace and prevents the escalation of conflict. Practicing equanimity requires patience and consistent effort. It is helpful to remind yourself of the impermanent nature of all things, including difficult interactions. By focusing on your breath during moments of tension and grounding yourself in the present moment, you can navigate challenging situations with greater ease. Incorporating equanimity into daily life also means setting realistic expectations for yourself and others. Recognize that perfection is unattainable and that everyone has limitations. This understanding can reduce frustration and promote a more balanced approach to interpersonal relationships. Ultimately, equanimity is about finding a middle path between attachment and aversion, allowing you to remain centered amidst life's ups and downs. Through regular practice and mindful awareness, you can develop the resilience needed to handle negative people with grace and composure, transforming potential sources of stress into opportunities for spiritual growth. In Buddhism, the power of forgiveness and letting go is a profound practice that can transform our interactions with negative people and alleviate our own suffering. Forgiveness in Buddhism is not merely an act of condoning harmful behavior, but rather a means of releasing the emotional burdens that bind us to past grievances. By forgiving, we free ourselves from the cycle of resentment and anger, which can cloud our judgment and perpetuate negativity in our lives. Letting go, on the other hand, involves releasing attachment to negative emotions and experiences. This does not mean ignoring or suppressing these feelings, but acknowledging them, and then consciously choosing to release their hold on us. In doing so, we create space for positive emotions and thoughts to flourish. The Buddha taught that clinging to anger and resentment is like holding on to a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. In the end, it is we who get burned. Forgiveness and letting go are deeply intertwined with the Buddhist concept of non-attachment. By practicing non-attachment, we learn to see situations and people as they are, without the distortions caused by our emotional reactions. This clarity allows us to respond to negativity with compassion rather than hostility. It also helps us understand that everyone is subject to their own suffering and delusions, which often drive their negative behavior. The practice of forgiveness can be cultivated through meditation and mindfulness. Loving kindness, metta meditation, for example, encourages us to extend compassion and goodwill towards ourselves and others, including those who have wronged us. By regularly engaging in this practice, we gradually soften our hearts and develop a more forgiving attitude. Letting go also involves a recognition of impermanence, one of the core teachings of Buddhism. Everything in life is transient, including our emotions and experiences. By embracing this truth, we can learn to let go of past hurts more easily, understanding that they do not define us or our present moment. Ultimately, the power of forgiveness and letting go lies in their ability to liberate us from the chains of negativity. They allow us to cultivate inner peace and resilience, enabling us to navigate interactions with negative people more skillfully. Through these practices, we not only improve our own well-being, but also contribute to a more compassionate and harmonious world. Cultivating inner peace through regular practice is a cornerstone of Buddhist teachings and an essential strategy for dealing with negative people when you can't avoid them. Inner peace is not something that happens overnight. It requires consistent effort and dedication to spiritual practices that calm the mind and nurture the soul. One of the most effective ways to cultivate inner peace is through daily meditation. Meditation helps to quiet the mind, allowing you to observe your thoughts and emotions without becoming entangled in them. By setting aside time each day to meditate, you create a sanctuary within yourself that remains unaffected by external negativity. Another important practice is mindfulness, which involves being fully present in each moment. Mindfulness helps you to become aware of your reactions to negative people and situations, giving you the space to choose a more skillful response. When you are mindful, you can recognize when someone else's negativity is affecting you and take steps to protect your inner peace. This might involve taking a few deep breaths, mentally reciting a calming mantra, or simply acknowledging your feelings without judgment. In addition to meditation and mindfulness, engaging in regular acts of kindness and compassion can also help to cultivate inner peace. When you extend kindness to others, even those who are negative, you reinforce positive qualities within yourself. This not only benefits others, but also strengthens your own sense of well-being and resilience. Practicing loving kindness, meditation, can be particularly powerful in this regard, as it involves sending thoughts of love and goodwill to all beings, including those who may be difficult to deal with. It's also important to incorporate physical practices such as yoga or tai chi into your routine. These practices help to release physical tension and promote a sense of balance and harmony within the body. When your body is relaxed and balanced, it becomes easier to maintain a peaceful state of mind. Finally, remember that cultivating inner peace is an ongoing journey. There will be times when you feel challenged or overwhelmed by negativity, but each moment offers an opportunity to return to your practice and reaffirm your commitment to peace. By making these practices a regular part of your life, you build a strong foundation that supports you in navigating difficult interactions with grace and equanimity. Through consistent effort and dedication, you can create an inner sanctuary of peace that remains steadfast regardless of external circumstances. To keep expanding your spiritual awareness, click one of the videos on screen now.